is a presentation of Main Street Media, your source for news, sports, and information on Main Street in Middle Tennessee.
Well, welcome in. It is Friday here on Main Street Sports Today, and so glad to be with you guys here. What a fantastic day it is going to be. I promise you it's going to be a lot of fun as we get ready to talk a little college football that'll happen over the weekend, some college football that happened last night, and so much more. Mo, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. A lot of college football last night. I missed all of it.
Yeah, you did, but that's okay. I mean,
hate when work gets in the way of a good time.
You didn't miss anything. Well, I mean, you missed some late night stuff.
Missed a lot,
but you certainly didn't miss anything in the way of the Tennessee Volunteers.
2 plays, and I actually saw both of those, and
you were,
and that was about all that mattered. It sounded like so.
Yeah, that's about right. I mean, in reality, certainly didn't miss anything after that. Now, we'll talk about it a little bit later. Also, we'll talk about the other 2 games that were insanely crazy. So, plenty to get to on this here Friday edition. Let's see what we got here going on. All right. Jeff Him will join us in just a moment. That's exciting.
It is.
We'll talk high school football. We've got some highlights from last night. That's always fun. Today we start to pick them. College football against the spread. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I don't think I fared so well in that last year, so I'm not necessarily fraying over the prospect of that.
I mean, I don't think anybody. JP did really well, but that was about it.
Oh, we don't have to worry about him anymore, do we?
He's not going to.
Him and his formulas and his
my formula is whatever I think is going to happen. I pick the opposite and started working. So go against your gut if you're me. That's the way it's worked out so far. So.
Yeah. What did you say about he's traveling today, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So. Good for him.
Let's see if we can't get to all of this because we have to give you, Mo, today's rundown, which is always exciting on Friday because we get to talk about our friend Chip Walters.
The Friday Rundown is brought to you by Chip Walters of Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates. The voice of the Blue Raiders also wants to be your trusted advisor in real estate. Contact Chip at 615-542-1915 or through his website at choosechip.net. Chip Walters, proud to support youth sports across Middle Tennessee.
All right, so Thursday night football action. Cane Ridge down McGavick. I missed that one pretty bad. 35-7. The Ravens victorious.
You took McGavick in that, didn't you?
I did.
Oops.
It's such is life.
It happens.
Mount Pleasant, 2013 winners over Cascade. We'll talk about that in just a moment as well. Gallatin, 19-7 over West Creek. Smith County, 39-0 over Maplewood. Pearl Collin shutting out Hillwood, 58-0. And Westmoreland, 20-0 over Watertown, maybe with or without their announcer.
In Thursday volleyball action, Stewart's Creek with a 3-1 win over Blackman. It was Page blanking Columbia Central 3-0. Also, Culleoka with a 3-0 win over Fayetteville. Gallatin 3, Station Camp 1. It was Lawrence County defeating Giles County 3-0. Hampshire with a 3-1 win over Mount Pleasant. Creekwood in 5 sets downs Harper 3-2, and Rockvale shuts out Laverne 3-0.
Loretto, 3-0 winners over Lewis County. Middle Tennessee Christian, 3-1 over Providence Christian. The rest of these all 3-0 finals. East Hickman over Santa Fe, Siegel over Riverdale, Spring Hill over Marshall County, Summertown defeated Collinwood, and Franklin Road Christian over Zion Christian.
In girls soccer action on Thursday, Oakland defeated Blackman 3-0. It was CPA 2, Brentwood Academy 0. Cheatham County with a 5-4 win over county rival Harpeth. It was Clarksville 7, Springfield 0. Clarksville Academy with a 5-3 victory over Davidson Academy. White House Heritage defeated Clarksville Northeast 3-1, and Columbia Central and Coffee County played to a 4-4 draw.
It's a random number for us. Just saying. It's a random score for to draw.
Yeah, right.
Greenbrier 7-2 over Creekwood. It was Cullioca 5. Huntland 1. Good Pasture 3-1 winner over DCA. East Hickman down in Whites Creek 7-0. STEM Academy and East Robertson 0-0 draw there. Mount Juliet Christian 7-0 over Ezel Harding, and Fairview falls to Sycamore 2-0.
It was Independence 2, Franklin 1. Franklin County with a 2-1 win over Murfreesboro Central. Nashville Christian downs Friendship Christian 8-0. Page also with a shutout victory 7-0 over Giles County. Green Hill blanked Lebanon 2-0. It was Lipscomb Academy 3, Harpeth Hall 2. Hunters Lane with a 4-1 win over Kenwood. Laverne blanks Antioch 5-0, and Lead Academy with a 4-2 win over Independence Academy.
Hume Fogg down Martin Luther King 1-0. It was Station Camp 1, Mount Juliet 0. Madison Academy 4-1 over Munford. Pope Prep 4-1 winners over Innsworth. Rossview 11-2 over Portland. It was Grace Franklin and Providence Christian, a 0-0 draw. Ravenwood 1-0 over Nolensville. Riverdale falls to Rockville 3-1, and St. Cecilia Academy 5, Cane Ridge 0.
Siegel with a 6-1 win over Stewart's Creek. Tullahoma blanked Middle Tennessee Christian 7-0. Valor Collegiate all over Glencliff 11-0. Montgomery Central edges Waverly 2-1. It was West Creek 3, Dixon County 1, Wilson Central 2, Smyrna 1, and Watertown with a 4-0 win over York Institute.
In professional baseball, the Braves down the Rockies 3-0 in a fantastic performance from Spencer Strider. Diamondbacks shut out the Brewers 5-0, and the Sounds edge Memphis the Redbirds 6-5. In college football, Tennessee down Ball State 59-10.
Tonight's high school football schedule, all games 7 o'clock kickoffs unless otherwise specified. Hendersonville is at Beach. Christ Presbyterian Academy goes to Battleground Academy. Brentwood Academy hosts Briarcrest. Centennial hosts Independence. White House goes to Cheatham County. Clarksville Academy takes on visiting Middle Tennessee Christian. Jackson Christian comes to Columbia Academy, and Creekwood hosts Marshall County.
Franklin Road Academy is at Davidson Academy. Dixon County plays host to John Overton. Stratford's at East Nashville. Innsworth at home against Christian Brothers. Ezel Harding hosting Republic. Pope Prep is at Father Ryan, and Ravenwood at Franklin.
Columbia Central travels to Franklin County. White House Heritage goes to Franklin Simpson of Kentucky. At 7:30, Donaldson Christian plays at Friendship Christian. 7 o'clock kickoffs. Greenbrier is at Glencliff. Collinwood is at Franklin Grace. Green Hill hosts Wilson Central. Harpeth hosts Whites Creek. Red Boiling Springs goes to Joe Burns, and Henry County is at Kenwood.
Antioch at Laverne. Lebanon at home against Cookville. Wayne Hills, New Jersey at Liberty Creek. Okay. Lincoln County hosting Nolensville. Good Pastures at Lipscomb Academy. Loretto playing host to Forest. That's going to be a big one. MBA's at McCauley, also another huge game. Lawrence County going to Montgomery Central, and Eagleville's at Moore County. Mount
Juliet hosts Hunters Lane. Oakland hosts Stewart's Creek. Portland hosts Clarksville Northwest. Summertown travels to Richland. Blackman is at Riverdale. This is still the rundown. Siegel is at Rockvale. Clarksville goes to Rossview, and Smyrna hosts Hillsborough.
Clarksville Northeast is at Springfield. Page at Spring Hill. Clarksville Northeast at Springfield. Page at Spring Hill. Just to make sure I got that right. White County's at Station Camp. Stewart County playing host to Fairview. Always a big game there in that region. Brentwood's at Summit. Trousdale County hosting East Robertson. Waverly at home against Sycamore. Mount Juliet Christian goes to Webster.
In volleyball action this evening, Brentwood Academy hosts Incarnate Word out of Missouri. Well, I don't know if they host or not. This looks like it might be a tournament.
Probably a tournament.
But Incarnate Word of Missouri and Brentwood Academy play at 5 o'clock after Brentwood Academy plays Collierville at 4. In girls soccer action this evening, Merrill Hyde hosts White House. Saturday morning girls soccer at 9 o'clock a.m. Clarksville is at Marshall County, Kentucky. At 1 p.m., Clarksville is at Davies County, Kentucky. And at 11:30 a.m., Clarksville Northeast meets McCracken County of Kentucky. Clarksville Northwest meets McCracken County of Kentucky. This looks like it's some sort of a tournament as well.
Yeah. Pro baseball weekend series: Rockies at Reds, Marlins at Braves, Cubs at Cardinals, Brewers at the Diamondbacks, and Memphis will be at the Sounds for the rest of the weekend.
College football of area interest on Saturday at 3 o'clock, and you can find this on ESPN Plus. Tennessee State plays at Eastern Washington. 5 o'clock, also on the Plus. MTSU is at James Madison at 6 on SEC Network Plus. Elon travels to West End to take on the 1-0 Vanderbilt Commodores. Also at 6 on ESPN Plus, Austin Peay hosts Presbyterian. And that is your rundown.
Mo,
did we mention Major League Baseball? Yeah, we did. I'm sorry. Must have blanked out. Ignore me.
You were looking at the football schedule going, boy, lots of pluses there.
Yeah.
Of these 4 games, which one would you be most looking forward to? Or most interested in the outcome?
The first 2. TSU and Eastern Washington in Eddie George 2.0 and MTSU with their $1.5 million payday to go to James Madison for their first FBS contest, and ideally they get the check and the dub, but we'll see.
Take what we can get, specifically the check.
Well, I mean, the check is guaranteed. They're going to get the check either
yeah,
way.
That's what I'm saying. Just take what you can get.
But Middle needs the win because, I mean, again, as we talked to Chip earlier this week, they've got a trip to Miami in a few weeks, and they've got another.
State.
And then they've got Colorado State next week. So, Colorado State may or may not be winnable. You don't feel real good about Miami, but it'd be nice if you could pick this one off. Possibly 3-0 going into Miami.
Could be.
Yeah. So, but
that would be big for them.
It would. So yeah. So those are the 2 that I'm more intrigued by. It'll be interesting to see what Vanderbilt does coming off of that annihilation of the Warriors last weekend.
Yeah, I'm really interested in Tennessee State, Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington's a very, solid program, perennial playoff contender, and I think Tennessee State, can find. They're going to, it's a measuring stick game.
I think it is a measuring stick game to find out where they are again in year 2 under Eddie George. Are they ready to be a national player?
Guess we'll find out. Our top story today, Mo, was supposed to be Harold Landry tearing his ACL, by the way, which is huge.
That's very unfortunate. That's a guy who did not play a whole lot during the preseason just because you're trying to prevent that kind of thing. And so he tears an ACL in practice.
Sometimes you got to get loose.
It's just tough, man. And
you can't predict those things. I mean,
no. I mean, sometimes it just is what it is. So
it is unfortunate for the Titans. Hopefully,
it's unfortunate for him.
Yeah. Is this a contract year? It's not a contract year, is it?
I think last year was his contract year. I'm not entirely sure where he sits as far as that goes.
So, I mean, it's going to be it is huge for this defense to have somebody step up. They got a couple of guys who, there's some depth there. And like I said this morning, if any position we're going to have this injury,
that
I feel
might
like
be the
Mike
one.
Vrabel can find somebody and, kind of get something out of.
I think
position.
everybody in that organization is really excited about second-year edge guy Rashad Weaver.
Yes.
Who I think played 2 or 3 games last year and suffered a season-ending leg injury, broke his leg. So he's back and has looked pretty good, very high motor. So I don't think you're going to not miss a beat, but at the same time, I think he gives you something. So,
yeah. All right, well, let's take a quick break. We've got Jeff Him coming up here on the other side of it. So stick around on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back right after this. This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee sports editor, 3-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl, Bananarama. So the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice. Welcome back into Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Glad to have you guys with us again on this beautiful Friday so far. It's been a fantastic week and a fantastic weekend ahead, we hope. So looking forward to it. I know that not just us, Mo, we've got a lot of folks looking forward to a good weekend. And if you're looking for something to do this weekend, because Tennessee's already played and you're not too worried about anybody else potentially, well, no better way to spend a afternoon or evening than at the ballpark. And that is why each and every Friday we get a chance to talk with Jeff Him, the voice of the Nashville Sounds. Jeff, what's up?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
doing well, Jeff. As you guys approach game 4 of your series with Memphis that finishes up Sunday, I know that, they tweaked the schedule around a couple of holidays earlier this year, and I was looking to see if you guys were playing on Labor Day, but in fact, you're not. Surprising that, maybe the powers that be with minor league baseball did not take that same tact with the Labor Day weekend, or is it just kind of a leave well enough alone as close to the end of the season as you are at this point?
Yeah, I think I think it probably could have gone either way. I mean, most Mondays are off days, except pretty much the Memorial Day situation now and the 4th of July, depending on where that falls, like it did this year. I think they like the Monday off days just so much in general that other than those couple of exceptions, there was probably consensus to just make Labor Day an off day this year. We'll see what next year looks like. And you're right, there have been some mid-season changes to the schedule. I want to remind fans, as you mentioned the weekend, Chris, that Sunday is a day game. Originally, it was going to be a night game. It switched a couple of months ago, and hopefully most fans are aware of it, but it is a 2:05 game on Sunday. We made it. It's always easier to go from a night game to a day game than from a day game to a night game. And originally, I think Major League Baseball suspected that week 1 of the NFL might be this weekend instead of next weekend. And so there was a presumption, I think, from a lot of AAA teams who share a city with an NFL team that there, that there might be a noon Central or a 3:25 Central kickoff or something like that. And once we, in this case, and others around the country realized the NFL would not start this weekend, all the more reason to make the final game of a series, especially on the holiday weekend, a day game. So that's why we've got the 2:05 on Sunday. But I think Memorial Day and 4th of July are the biggest ones as far as crowds go on Monday holidays when they fall that way. So I think Labor Day was sort of that could go either way, and I think there's enough. I think there's enough support for the Monday off days and keeping the 6-game series as much as possible that they kept Labor Day an off day this year.
Makes sense. Yeah, give yourself a little extra time on that Sunday to enjoy both players, staff, and fans. So,
yeah, and I think for us, that as you guys know, we do Sunday day games the first few months of the year, and then basically when school's out and it gets hotter, we switch to the Sunday night games. But there are other reasons, travel being one of them, and I think the teams in general like the day games in a lot of ways. But our numbers over the years have shown that the crowds just do better on the Sunday nights when it's hot than the day games, and trying to slug your way through a hot afternoon game. This weekend I think is going to be warm. I don't think it's going to be insanely hot, but it is a good test, I think, for us to build towards next year's game times. Okay, here's an early September Sunday afternoon game we thought might have been a night game. What did the crowd look like? What was the response? What was the fan feedback? And maybe it's something that either continues next year or goes back to original planning next year, depending on how things fall.
Yeah, it looks like 80, 85 on Saturday and 83 on Sunday. So, yeah, that's reasonable. I mean, it's still hot, but it's reasonable for September anyway.
And I personally love the day games, but I also want our organization to have the biggest crowds possible. So I get it, but I'm all for the day game.
Jeff Ham, the voice of the Nashville Sounds, joining us here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Jeff, we talked about the line switch in the outfield that took place a few weeks ago for the Sounds. Well, one of those pieces didn't stick around very long. Garrett Mitchell got the call. Was it this week?
Yeah, this past weekend. Friday, late Friday night, but essentially this past weekend when we were in Durham, Mitchell got the call and had quite a weekend last weekend. Got his first big league hit the day he made his first start. And the next day he hit a game-tying home run that led to a Keston Hero walk-off. And he's had quite a ride so far. And then you're right. And then yesterday, with the rosters expanding by 2 spots, another part of that quartet, Esteori Ruiz, who was part of the Josh Hader deal with San Diego, was one of the 2 guys called up, along with reliever Luis Perdomo. So out of the 4, Ruiz and Mitchell were not here long. Sal Frelick and Joey Weimer remain and continue to do well, and we'll see how the rest of September goes for those guys, and Bryce Terang and all kinds of other deserving September call-up candidates. There's just not as much room for those under these rules the last 2 years of only 2 additional spots compared to all those years. And I'm sure, Mo, you remember covering some teams where September 1, it was 7-8 guys who'd be going up from the AAA to the big league team.
And as a result, half the team all of a sudden you didn't know, because when 7 or 8 went up, 7 or 8 came in from somewhere else as well. So and when, again, obviously the intent is not to play for International League or AAA championships, but when you've got something to play for and you're experiencing that kind of turnover, it can be a little tough. So I think this is a little bit easier for the AAA teams to manage anyway.
Yeah, I think there's a couple parts of it. One, obviously, like you mentioned, anybody at AAA, of course, wants to get to the big leagues, and we, the Sounds, want them to get to the big leagues. We hate to lose them, but we want them to get to the big leagues. It's just the elite of the elite of the elite if you can get there. So understandably, you want them to go. I wish there were more than just 2 allowed roster spots come September 1. I get it from some of the major league teams who don't like, if you're the Braves and let's say you're playing the Pirates or somebody at the bottom of a division, and they've called up 8 or 9 guys on September 1, you may not know those players as well. They're not really playing for anything for that particular year. Some would make the argument that for the competitive balance and the respect of a division race or a pennant race, that you should be trying to win every game you can instead of sort of quote unquote playing for the future. There's that component if you're a contending team and you don't want guys you're not as familiar with, 8 different relievers coming in for the final few innings because there's just an unlimited amount of bullpen arms available. That's the one side. The other side of that, though, is the value that guys get from being up there in September, even if they don't get to play a lot, just because of, you're rewarding them in a sense for the season that they've had at AAA, and the value that just being around that environment can bring for the next year, even if you're on a contending team. So I see it from that standpoint. I'm also probably a little bit biased because I see the AAA world so closely. You see the work that these guys put in. You want them to get any day that they can in the big leagues. And this Sounds team has so many deserving guys of at least a shot that just probably aren't all going to get one over the course of this September, just because they only have a couple of spots. So I see both sides of, do you have a limited amount or do you not limit it anything outside of a 40-man roster? But I think because these last 2 years, the AAA schedule does go the whole month of September and not ending on Labor Day like it always used to, you're right that the guys down here at least can keep playing. And because all 30 AAA teams have a season that goes basically as long as the Major League regular season goes, they might get a shot, even if they weren't one of the 2 guys going up on September 1. They're still playing. Whereas in years past, you might have had a team on September the 20th in the big leagues calling up a AAA guy whose season ended, 18, 19 days prior, and he's been home, not playing in games. So there's value to the AAA season going later for everybody, even if you're not called up on September 1. At least you're playing another month, whether you're playing to get to the big leagues or you're going to be a minor league free agent at the end of the year. There's something to play for at AAA for everybody the final month, versus not getting a September 1 call-up and also possibly just going home and hoping instead of continuing to play.
Well, and then you have, of course, a trip to Las Vegas to look forward to if you are the Nashville Sounds and can continue this role or this run that they're on, as obviously AAA triple championship weekend will be taking place for, I guess, is it the last week of September, first week of October-ish?
Yeah, it's the first 2. Yeah, for October 1 and October 2nd for any of the 4 AAA division winners, the 2 in our league and the 2 in the other league. And we'll see, we'll see what next year looks like. They may, I don't think we're ever going to go back to Labor Day being the season finale. Like I said, I think big league teams, they see too much value in all the AAA guys going as much of September as possible. But maybe it goes more like mid to late September, and you have, maybe a couple of 5-game series or best of 5 or best of 3 or some older format of what we used to see at AAA. That remains to be seen on what that looks like for next year. I think when they built this for this year, they were at least thinking of just this year and not really committing to this format for years to come. So we'll see if there's change in divisional alignment and postseason for next year. But at least for this year, you're right. It's basically a weekend, and you're only guaranteed 1 game. You could go to Vegas and, at this point, it'd be the Sounds against Durham. The Sounds could go to Vegas, play Durham on October 1st, lose that game, and that's it. And then Durham would play on October 2nd, and the Sounds would be done. So you're only guaranteed the 1 game, but at the most, it's only 2 anyway. So it's unique this year, and we'll see if next year is any different.
I'm looking forward to that. I think it's a cool idea anyway, at least for something to play for. Last 2 years they've not had playoffs or championships at all. So, it's nice to have a trophy at the end of the year. That'd be pretty cool. But this weekend, again, the Redbirds still in town. That's always fun since we don't like them at all, whether you're a Braves fan, a Sounds fan, or anything else. Cubs fan, you just don't like them. So there's that. Then you go on the road to Charlotte. You'll be back in Charlotte next week before coming home for Jacksonville to Louisville and then back home for a 3-game set against the Redbirds, and hopefully with a trip to Las Vegas on the line if you have not clinched it by then. So should be a fun month of September, Jeff.
Yeah, we got your post-game fireworks tonight, Chris. So we'll see you in a couple hours. And
high school football, man, I don't get to see fireworks anymore. So,
understand.
Well, they actually do fireworks where I'm going tonight, so we'll see. Maybe if they score, we'll get to see that. But everyone else can enjoy the Friday night fireworks in Fox 17 Fridays.
There you go. We love the combination of early football season and late baseball season. It's a good time of year. There's room for everybody.
There is, in fact. Jeff, as always, we appreciate it, man. Thanks for taking time with us.
See you guys. Have a great weekend.
Yes, sir. All right, that's going to do it. We'll come back. We've got plenty to talk about, Mo. I mean, like a lot. So we'll get right into it. Messages on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee, because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Mo, welcome back into Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Just so happened to be the end of that song. So sad. It is what it is. Man, what a beautiful Friday it's going to be. Not looking so good on the weekend, but I wasn't going to say that in front of Jeff. So
It's okay.
Scattered thunderstorms all weekend.
It's okay. I got nowhere to be other than birthday dinner at a undetermined location for my sister, whose birthday is actually today. So happy birthday, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Figure out where we're going to eat. Yeah. But other than that, I don't have to leave the house and
post it up.
And it may very well not tomorrow, Got to get that remote control thumb in good working condition.
I won't be, but for other reasons. Unfortunately, be staying home for a little while. Sunday night, looking forward to that one. LSU, Florida State. I'm curious to see what LSU is going to look like. So
curious to see what Florida State's going to look like.
Yeah, well,
because this might be.
Last week was you who knows?
This could be the end of Mike Norvell as we know him. I mean, if he's not careful. So it's an interesting matchup. Should be a fun matchup.
It should be. Yeah. We got a lot to get into. First, let's start with high school.
Mm-hmm.
Just a few moments ago, John Varlas of the Daily Memphian with some semi-breaking news coming out of Memphis.
Yeah, apparently the TSSAA has stripped Memphis East of a couple of high school basketball state championships, specifically the 2018 and the 2019 state championships that involved current Golden State Warrior and former Ensworth post player James Wiseman. So those, I guess, Class AAA state titles have been vacated, according to a tweet from John Varlas of the Daily Memphian about an hour ago.
Now, does Mark Reeves go with a couple of THP guys and retrieve the gold balls?
No. I think Bernard Childress comes out of retirement and goes with a couple of THP and retrieves the gold balls. I think they reactivate Bernard one last time.
Just for this.
Yeah. It's like, you were the executive director when this took place. You go get them.
So do they have to return? I would assume they do.
Well,
Can't imagine that you get to keep them.
I can't think you get to keep trophies that you can't claim.
I mean, Reggie Bush and others had Heisman trophies at the house.
Well,
so I don't know.
I'm not
curious as to how that works.
I'm not sure exactly how it works, and it's a heck of a question.
I want to know now. That's the next question.
Well, the good thing is, I think we can find out.
Oh yeah, I mean, we know some people, so we need to find that out, because I'm just curious as to how that all goes down.
Yeah. So
you guess here's a self-addressed stamped box.
Just yeah. Now, I don't think it's going to work like that. But
you're going to have to come get them.
Yeah, come and take it.
That's exactly what they're thinking. Come on, bring it. Anyway, couple of games last night. Mo, we'll stay in high school for just a minute as you got a chance to go out to Cascade, and boy, halftime was not great for the Mount Pleasant Tigers.
I think maybe halftime was great.
Well, I'm sure they didn't enjoy it while it was happening.
Well, I think there was a lot of talking, and not just by the coaches, actually.
That's good.
So a number of people were involved in the Tigers getting refocused after falling behind 13-0 and giving up a couple of touchdown passes that they had no business giving up, basically. So they got some things straightened out. They got their quarterback straightened out, who had really struggled through the first half. And
yeah, can we just watch this? Just absolutely trucking. Oh, it's one more time. Just one more time. Just trucking the linebacker.
Just one more time.
Huh? Just an absolute. It just lowered his shoulder and burst into the end zone. A little jawing there, but
a lot of jawing.
There's probably some jawing all night. And then Nick Brown here to Darian Meza. This one was 60.
That one
plus?
Was 57.
Gotcha.
This one is 60.
This one looks like 57.
Oh, maybe.
Because they were, Anyway, it was copy paste.
Yeah, one of them was 64, one of them was 57, and I'm not sure in what order they came, actually. So
64 was first. I do know that.
Okay.
And then Meza gets the pick to end it. But those two touchdown passes were literally copy paste. I mean,
yeah, I'm pretty sure they were the same play.
I mean, it's just, but not just that, but the adjustment that he made on both at the end to get to the ball. I mean, you can see it here on this. It's just a skinny post pattern across the middle, and you see how he kind of flattens it out there one more time. It copy paste, man, and do it till they stop it. And
Yeah.
very amazing. We said it
last summer.
year in that passing camp over at Shelbyville. That kid made plays all over the field.
He made plays all over the field, and we didn't really see him get behind people in 7-on-7 like that, and didn't see a lot during the regular season. But that guy can get it. However far off of him you are, you're probably not far off enough.
Yeah.
You probably need to give him another couple of steps, because he can get behind anybody.
He absolutely can. So,
and Nick Brown has the arm strength to, when he does get behind you, to put it in there.
Yeah, and that's why I was a little confused by that first interception video that you sent me last night. He completely underthrew the ball. And I thought, I know that wasn't the complete arm strength.
I've not looked back at that play, but I'm not sure he was able to step into that ball. I think he got a little pressure up the middle.
But you could, like I said, you could tell that wasn't
a typical Nick Brown throw.
Yeah. And so I thought, he underthrew it. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So, to see him come back and make both of those throws at the end of in the third quarter, Mount Pleasant stays undefeated. And that's a big one. Again, I'll bet you that coaching staff from Mount Pleasant will be in Loretto tonight watching Forest and the Mustangs.
Oh yeah.
So it's that region, man. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That region is going to be tough, and that's why that win was so important for Mount Pleasant, and why that's such a tough loss for Cascade, because it's a region loss at home for the champions.
And Cascade they were number 2 in the region last year.
No, Summertown was number 2.
That's right. Summertown was. You're right. Yeah. But that is a huge region game. I think,
because you've got Mount Pleasant, you've got Cascade, you've got Loretto
and Forest.
Well, I'm thinking
and Richland.
Well, and Richland. Yeah, you've got Cascade, Mount Pleasant, Loretto, and Richland vying for. If this region goes the way it typically has, they're playing for one home game.
Right.
Because I think Forest is number 1 until
further
notice.
Yeah, until they fall off. Absolutely.
Yeah, so
anyway,
that's a big win for Mount Pleasant.
It absolutely was. Absolutely was. Speaking of big wins, Tennessee wins big. But as I tweeted, my goodness. Vandy scored more points and they traveled 5,000 miles away. 6-6, here we come.
Yeah.
And obviously that's a joke. This Tennessee football team is going to score points. But I don't know in the SEC who they're going to stop. Because Ball State's third down conversions, it looked just like last year. And you've got to get third down stops in the SEC to be successful. You just have to.
Yeah, you got to be able to get off the field. And, maybe the defense wasn't showing a whole lot last night either. I know the offense was pretty vanilla. So, no, I don't know.
But you would think that you could get pressure with your front four against Ball State.
You would think.
They did not.
That's not good.
So that's why I'm a little, just like we talked about yesterday, I'm worried because I don't know what this defense has, and I don't think they showed me anything last night that just makes me think
they're going to be okay.
They're going to be okay because, look, the defensive secondary isn't great, but if you get any pressure at all on the quarterback, they can be manageable. You can't expect your secondary to be the only defense against the pass. Pressure is really the most important part. And right now they're just not getting it. So hopefully that changes. Hopefully some things, maybe it was just there weren't many stunts. Maybe they didn't, do a whole lot of twists or anything like that. Maybe it was just,
vanilla
line
defense.
up and go after them. I know they didn't blitz a whole lot, but ideally you don't want to have to blitz because you want to be able to cover as much ground as you can with linebackers, et cetera. So we'll see. again, offensively, couldn't ask for a better start, couldn't ask for a better finish, couldn't ask for a better anything. Just a really good night offensively from this Tennessee team. Hendon Hooker looked like a legitimate dark horse Heisman candidate. Joe Milton looked okay at times. Of course, he still wants to I think that he is trying to challenge Ben Joyce for fastest ball on campus. And on one slant route, he may have topped triple digits. I'm not sure.
Oh, goodness.
But
I'm assuming that one was incomplete.
it was, in fact, it was a pass interference on the defense. Walker Merrill, touchdown last night. Brentwood stand up, his first touchdown, and he was literally wide open. Like he was so by himself. It was insane. Just completely by himself.
Sometimes those are the hardest catches.
I mean, had he been any more open, there wouldn't have been nobody on the field. It was insane. So anyway.
Well, good for him.
Good for Walker Merrill. Brentwood stand up and all. So
yep.
Backyard brawl, fantastic last night.
Pitt won that one by a touchdown. Is that right?
Pick six. It was 31-31. JT Daniels throws a pick six to give Pitt a 38-31 lead, and then comes back, makes a couple of really good throws. A targeting penalty was overturned that, put it this way, Kid absolutely did not intend to do anything. It was just where their bodies were. But he absolutely made forcible contact to the head or neck area, and they overturned it.
I mean, how do you – I don't think you can factor intent into that rule.
I think you should. I think there should be
but when you do, then you are creating a gray area that makes that rule worse. I think if you're going to have the rule, you got to call it by the rule regardless of intent.
I understand.
I think the rule is bad.
No, I'm saying I think they should add an intent rule such as launching. That should be what gets you thrown out of the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But this was not that. It was essentially the kid caught the ball coming across the middle, and he turned because he was getting tackled, and the kid was coming to him, was 2 steps away when he turned and went down, and his arms hit him in the head.
And when you drop your level like that, then the defensive player
can't do anything.
Can't do anything in that short a period of time.
Right.
What I'm saying to you is the way the rule is written.
I don't disagree that they should have called it. It should have been targeting. I'm just saying that the rule should have two levels. Flagrant 1, flagrant 2, etc.
Or flagrant and incidental.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Either way, but they don't.
I just think that when you start giving the officials an opportunity to interpret intent or lack thereof, then it becomes more subjective.
It's already pretty subjective, and every one of them's replayed. So I think there is an ability for the officials. Again, I think launching should absolutely be an ejection. But that's it. I don't think, I mean, if you just –
It's been a bad rule pretty much from the time it was introduced.
They just didn't get it right.
Nope.
And they've not tried to fix it, which is the worst part.
Right.
So anyway, on that drive, got a targeting call. It's overturned. Doesn't matter. They still get a first down, whatever. 4th down comes. Daniels heaves it to about the 5-yard line, and a guy makes an absolutely just dynamite effort. Rule to catch on the field. Pretty obvious he didn't catch it on replay. They call it incomplete, and Pitt fans go nuts. But it was a physical contest. It was everything you want from a rivalry, and it was everything you wanted to see if you're a Tennessee fan. It was just brutal
I can tell you who's not very happy right now.
Who's that?
Adam Jones.
No, Pac-Man's not happy. Pac-Man is not happy. No. But I'll tell you, it was a really good football game. I enjoyed it.
Hopefully it won't be another 11 years.
Hopefully it won't be another 11 years. And then in the nightcap that I watched, I did not watch Arizona State.
In Northern Arizona?
In Northern Arizona.
You didn't?
No, it was 3-0 at the end of the first quarter. 3-0. Now, by the time Purdue and Penn State were over, it was 31-3, and I was like, okay, good. I don't have to watch this now because I was going to have to if it was close. But Purdue, Penn State, Sean Clifford throws a pick six that turns into the puke six. I know you've seen that on
No,
Twitter.
I've not.
Well, don't.
Yeah.
I was very – look, I saw it happen, and I tweeted, this guy just tweeted on that or puked on national TV, and that was it. And then everyone with the video. And I'm like, come on, wow,
really?
We don't need to see that.
I had no
and it
desire
was
to see
everybody. I mean, my entire timeline was just puke, 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 puke.
Well,
puke.
I'm glad I missed that.
And so I'm like, hey, can we stop now? And then Action 24/7 betting website said Purdue bettors right now. And I thought, okay, that's a good use of it. I'll allow that one because Purdue had the game won, and Clifford drives down with about 2 minutes to go. It executes a flawless 2-minute drive. Didn't even have to use a timeout on the drive. Throws a touchdown pass. They win the game 35-31.
Our ATS statements last night didn't go so well because
one of them did.
We wanted to stay away from that 35.5. We thought that was too much, and UT obliterated that number.
Yes, by the first half.
We wanted to take La Tech and plus 19?
Plus 19.5
and
Missouri.
And Missouri obliterated that.
Well, the over 51 hit pretty quick in West Virginia Pitt. So
Yeah. So
I knew that was going to happen. That's all I had, though.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. And then finally, you got some news here from the Associated Press, it appears.
According to Ralph D. Russo from earlier in this hour, the university presidents who oversee the college football playoff voted Friday to expand the postseason model for determining a national champion from 4 to 12 teams no later than the 2026 season. A person familiar with the decision told the AP that the presidents would like to have the new format in place as soon as the 2024 season. Person spoke on condition of anonymity because an official announcement was still forthcoming. So, 12.
Just like we planned it.
A dozen.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
I'm sure Bill said, hey, there's these two guys in Tennessee who are on a sports talk show. And when I talked to them, he said that 12, they said 12 was perfect. So I think we should just go with that. And they said, well, if they think so, clearly it's a good idea.
That's exactly what they said. Yeah.
I don't remember their names, but they were right on it.
He might.
he
might. He seemed to have a pretty good time.
He's one of those guys, and he did have a good time on our show. We had him and Sankey on different levels than anybody else, I think. but yeah, there was Bill Hancock was a lot of fun on our show, and if you missed that, go back and watch it. It's available. But
he was pretty fired up about 12.
And 12 just makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
12 is the right number. We've said it on this show 100 times. 12 is it. So glad to see that 12 is the answer. So, Mo, why don't we talk a little Braves? What do you think? When we get to that. Right. Stick around. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joints. Back after this. Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Hey folks, while we take a quick break from the show, I want to tell you about our friends over at Custom Stone Handlers in downtown Columbia. Ed Rich and his team at Custom Stone Handlers believe in leadership. And outside of the military, our greatest leader building platform is sports. Custom Stone Handlers proudly encourages young people to get in the game. You can contact them today at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50-plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, ZionEagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's ZionEagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Are you an enthusiastic sports fan? Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in Tennessee. Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic injuries, and our Ortho Quick walk-in service lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. Welcome back in Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton on this Friday edition, and we got about a half hour left. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got college football pick'em coming your way here in just a few moments, so stick around for that. Mo, an absolute masterful performance last night from Spencer Strider and Kenley Jansen, who threw just 8 pitches, 6 for strikes, and earned the save. I bet that was a quick ball game last night because the Braves struck out 13 times. The Rockies struck out 6 times, and there was only 1 walk issued in the entire ball game.
I'm trying to find time of game. If you've got the box up, you should be able to find it.
I do have the box up, but I don't see that anywhere.
2:23.
That's quick. I've seen it quicker, but not very often.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it takes a little time to strike out 16 people, though.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah, or 29 in among 2 teams.
Well, it's almost like Spencer Strider said, "Hey, I'm still here as y'all continue to talk about this Rookie of the Year stuff."
And
because Michael Harris is sitting there with 14 home runs now.
On the year, Michael Harris has hit 14 home runs and driven in 46 RBIs, hitting just a hair under 300
in 80-something games.
Yeah, I have no idea.
85-ish, less than 90. So, I mean, if there's anybody else that thinks they're in the running for National League Rookie of the Year other than Spencer Strider and Michael Harris II,
I'm sorry,
they're
but you're
really
wrong.
not.
Yeah, Austin Riley with a big home run, Michael Harris with a big home run. Both of those guys just keep doing what they're doing. But Spencer Strider, most strikeouts in Atlanta Braves history, not in Braves franchise history, Twitter and The Athletic. and several other people who said it was.
Second most in franchise history, because Warren Spahn struck out 8, tied for second most.
It's 18. 18 is
Yeah,
correct.
Spahn had 18.
But asterisk took him 15 innings to do it.
Well, kudos for him for
For
pitching
going-
15 innings.
I think that's almost, and still striking out 18.
I mean, I'd be interested to know how many he had after nine, but still, I mean, good 15 innings. Heck, that's 3 starts for most guys these
It is
days.
These days, yeah.
Yeah, goodness. Man, and then he went back out there 3 days later because they were pitching 4-man rotations.
And did it all over again.
Yeah.
But yes, second most in franchise history. Spahn had 18 in 1954 or something. But still, an Atlanta Braves record, 16 strikeouts, masterclass from Spencer Strider, of course.
And didn't give up
scorecards.
his second hit until the 8th, I
Right,
don't
yeah.
believe.
And there was an error in that inning too. Matt
Olsen
made an
clanked
error.
a throw. Yeah. So,
But
but I think that allowed him to get another strikeout too.
It
so.
did, because that's what got him the 16th strikeout. That's like Ron Netcha. He faced he got 28 outs in a game, but struck out 27. Because in the ninth, the catcher dropped
a third strike.
I'm sorry, in the third inning, he dropped the third strike. Yeah,
Wow.
struck out 27 in a 9-inning game, but got 28 outs. So. But yeah, great win, great series win. Way to bounce back if you're the Braves. The winning team in that series scored 3 runs in all 3 games.
Wow.
The Braves lost 3-2, won 3-2, and won 3-0. So there you go.
You know, I know we need to talk about a little bit about Braves Marlins this weekend, and
Especially tonight.
And we need to get today in Braves history. But what are we going to do about this narco controversy?
Is it still controversy?
Yeah, supposedly.
Based on what?
Well, supposedly Timmy Trumpet and the 2 members of Blaster Jacks that co-wrote Narco along with Timmy Trumpet do not think anyone else should be using it as a walk-up song. They endorsed Edwin Diaz as the official user, according to @SNY_Mets.
First of all, who cares? You don't. That's not how this works. But I don't know, man. Look, I think it's ridiculous.
Well, it's just, you know, the Mets haven't had the eyes of Major League Baseball on them this time of year for so long that it's almost like they don't know how to act.
That's exactly right. That is the perfect way to put it.
And so they're making much out of little, but what's probably going to happen is,
well, they're frustrated. They're frustrated because it's the best season they've had since 1986, and they can't enjoy
and they can't shake because the Braves never lose.
Because we're right here.
Right.
We're right here behind them.
In their hip pocket.
And that's it. They're frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And I can understand being frustrated. And it's probably what's going to end up
Costing them.
Mm-hmm.
And insult to injury, probably every Brave is going to use Narco as their walk-up that weekend.
I hope that weekend is not. I hope every single Brave player walks up, or Braves organist plays it just the entire time, like every song, and we start chopping to it. I hope we can chop to it. Can we chop to it? We'll figure it out. It's got to be 4/4 time, I'm sure. Come on, we can make it work.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Can we figure out a way to chop to Narco? It's ridiculous. There's no reason we need to be talking about this.
It's really not. It's really not. But
anyway, Marlins come in 4th in the NL East, 55-75, 29-37 in road games. Braves,
but
the one guy that you don't want to have to face with the 0.98 WHIP, Sandy Alcantara, who has to go up against Charlie Morton. And, well, I mean, Let's be honest.
You don't know what Charlie you're going to get.
You don't know what you're going to get. You know what
you know what you're going to get from Alcantara.
Yeah.
And
Braves,
so maybe that's why Ozuna is playing. We're just going to sacrifice this one, get somebody an extra day off, and try to go get these other two after we're done with Alcantara.
Well, that would certainly be right up Brian Snicker's alley to kick one on purpose. Braves are favored in this one, but
based on what? Have you seen this lineup?
It's a good question. Over under 7 runs. I'd take the under if I was going to bet.
I think I'm taking the under. Actually, I think I'm not betting. Yeah.
If I'm betting, I'd take the under. Miami. I'm sorry. The Braves hold a 9-4 advantage in the series so far.
The Marlins will not have Jesus Aguilar.
Yeah, but that don't matter. If Garrett Cooper's playing, then we're giving up 4 hits.
There's that.
If he could play, I'll tell you what. If the Braves were to sign him, he would be the worst hitter in all of Major Leagues because he only hits against us.
There you go. Yeah, he doesn't get to cushion those stats with X number of games against Atlanta. Yeah. Acuna, Swanson, Riley, Olson, Darno behind the plate hitting 5th. Michael Harris batting 6th. Vaughn Grissom, Ozuna playing left hitting 8th, and Robbie Grossman fanned out behind Charlie Morton on defense.
John Birdie's day to day.
He's another guy that gives the Braves problems.
Jorge Soler's on the IL still with a back.
Hate that for him, but glad we don't have to face him.
Obviously, Jazz Chisholm's been out pretty much all year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the only guy we really got to worry about is Cooper and Wendell.
And Alcantara.
Now, I will say this. Garrett Cooper is 0 for 2 lifetime against Charlie Morton. Wendell, though, 4 for 9. Anderson, 3 for 8. And is it Luis Diaz?
I believe so.
Luis Diaz, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts all time. I'd love to have Aguilar in a Brave uniform.
Yeah. Who did he sign with? He signed with somebody, or somebody claimed him. Michael Harris has played 85 games, by the way.
The O'Reills. Who have 69 wins on the year. How about that?
Jeez. Isn't that something? Yeah. Good for them.
Good for them.
The Orioles providing hope for every bad team out there.
Including the one they're playing today, the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah.
And the Athletics go into that game with Tony Kemp leading off, Shea Langeliers DHing, who's 13 for 56 on the year with 3 home runs and 10 ribbies. And I guess they may have also given up.
Oakland? Is Pache in?
No.
He played last night.
Okay. Well, that's good to know then. I'm glad they haven't given up on it.
Yeah, he played last night.
All right. Well, so there you go.
Drew Waters had a nice catch last night or yesterday for Kansas City. Smashed his face into the wall, but held onto the ball.
You'll take the holding onto the ball.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, let's go back in time and give them this day in Braves history.
September 2nd, 1957. Bob Hurricane Hazel has 4 hits, and Frank Torrey scores 6 runs, tying a major league record. Frank Torrey.
No, but 6 runs? Oh, I see 23. Okay, never mind. That makes sense then. Continue. Like, dang, 6 runs in a game? That's insane.
As Milwaukee downs the Cubs 23-10 in the opening game of a doubleheader.
Makes more sense now. Just let you finish.
I'm going to let you In game 2, the Braves blanked Chicago 4-0.
I just wasn't ready for 6 runs. Like, that caught me way off guard. It's like, how? How do you score 6 runs in a game?
That's why I tied a major league record. It doesn't happen very often. Yeah.
That blew me. I wonder if that's still the record.
Hang on. Well, let's see.
Runs scored in one game.
Most runs scored in a. It's probably going to give me a team.
Probably. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't have a. It's been 6 is still the record. It's happened 16 times.
16 times?
Yes.
Goodness.
So.
Okay.
That's a lot.
It is a lot.
But it's still a lot of runs. So anyway, that's this day in Braves history. That's going to do it for this segment. When we come back, we'll be picking some college football. So y'all stick around here on Main Street Sports Today. Presented by Mid Tennessee Bone and Joint. We'll be back after this.
This is attorney Bart Durham, and this is me. I'm Aaliyah. Keeping in good physical condition is really important to me. But when I had a wreck with a tractor-trailer truck that hurt my legs so bad I couldn't work for almost a year, I knew I needed a lawyer that understood tractor-trailer cases. So I called Bart. Bart gets millions of dollars for his clients every year.
At Bart Durham Injury Law, we've handled hundreds of tractor-trailer cases.
My dad and I want to help. Give us a call at 615-242-9000.
Then a 30-8 win.
1883. Was that even live ball?
Yeah, no.
I
mean, only 4 guys have done it since Torrey did it in 57.
Yeah. Oh, Mel Ott did it twice. Mel Ott did it twice. Holy crap. 10 years apart. That's insane.
That's pretty impressive.
Oh, my goodness. We're over.
Hi, this is Melissa Hoisington, Regional Crisis Director from Volunteer Behavioral Health. Disasters can affect everything in your life, including your emotional health. Help is available during these uncertain times. The Tennessee Recovery Project is a free, supportive resource for adults and children who have experienced the effects of natural or human-caused disasters. Specialists are available for counseling by phone or in person. For free, confidential service, please call 833-954-2424. The hotline is open 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Move forward with the help from the Tennessee Recovery Project.
All right, here we go. It is time for a little college football pick'em. But first, Mel Ott has scored 6 runs in a game twice. Mo, he did it nearly a decade apart. But I think the most interesting thing about this list is that Frank Torrey scored those 6 runs for the Milwaukee Braves in 1957. He only scored 150 in his career. More than 10% of his runs
came in one game.
Or 5%,
well, yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
But still, 5% of his runs came in one game.
There you go. There you go, introducing math. Yeah.
That's what I get.
Yeah.
But I was like, wait, 150 only? Do you know that today in history, I guess a few years back, about 5 years ago, there was a woman who spent like 285 days on the International Space Station. She came back today, and on this day, 5 years ago or whatever, and she had spent more time at the space station or in space than any other person from America and any other woman in the world at 665 days. Do you think they brought her back on 665 on purpose? Because imagine if they'd brought her back tomorrow.
Yeah, she probably asked, y'all got to get me down from here today. Yeah,
not tomorrow.
No, today. Oh goodness,
curious.
That's pretty crazy.
Oh man! All right, let's see here. Where's the old cursor? Where's the old cursor? Here it is.
Come on now.
Let's get it done. We are going to do some college football pick'em. Here we go. It's all against the spread. So. Mo, you want to write these down? Because I will not be writing them down. Mm-hmm. Here we go. Game number 1, 11 a.m. ABC, Colorado State at Michigan, a 27.5 point favorite.
I'm going to take the Wolverines to cover. I mean, basically that's 4 touchdowns, and against Colorado State, I think that's doable. It should be doable for the Wolverines.
I'm with you. I think 4 touchdowns really doesn't feel like it should be that difficult. So I'm with you there. I got Michigan as well in game number 2. ABC 2:30, Georgia, 17.5. Now it's a de facto home game. It's in Atlanta, but it's not between the hedges.
Yeah, it's not. It's at Sanford Stadium, but it's. I mean, Oregon doesn't have to go to Athens. That's the only thing that keeps it from being a home game. But,
yeah. I'm going
my gut was to go with Georgia to cover. Yeah, because I think both throws them one for one thing, but I think I like Georgia to cover here.
I got the Ducks here. Dan Lanning is going to know what to do. If anybody,
knowing is half the battle.
Well, and I mean, Oregon's got some. They got some cats.
Mm-hmm.
I think Oregon covers this one. 17.5 is just too much for me.
That's a lot.
And that hook is what really gets
me.
UTEP at Oklahoma, 32.5 point favorites, 2:30 on Fox. That's a tough one because it's UTEP. It's not UTSA. It's UTEP.
32.5 though. First game with Venables. First game with Dylan Gabriel. I like UTEP to cover here. 32.5 is a lot of points.
32.5 is a lot of points. We said that about Oklahoma a lot early last year. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think you talked me into it, actually.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to go to UTEP too. I mean, I was thinking 35 is easy. They'll cover that. They'll cover 35. That was my thought. But now I'm not so sure. So you got me.
So now you got a scapegoat when it doesn't go that way, right?
That's gonna be tough. We'll see. BYU at South Florida. South Florida 12.5 point home dogs. 3 p.m. on ESPNU. To the Stormin' Mormons. What was the basketball player that was nicknamed that? The Stormin' Mormon.
Probably Sean. Was it Sean Bradley?
It was Sean Bradley. Because I saw it the other day. That's why. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the only basketball player from BYU I remember. So
there you go. Well, that was it.
Yeah. As JP would remind me, I've often said I like home dogs, but I'm just not sure how good South Florida is. I'm going to take BYU to cover here.
Yeah, I got BYU too. BYU's just too good right now. They're a good program. South Florida is not.
Who's the coach?
I was literally just about to Google that when you seriously, like, I was putting my hands here to type that question in. Jeff Scott,
former South Carolina assistant, I think, among other things, or other places.
Yes, he is currently. He was at Clemson.
Oh, was he at Clemson and South Carolina, or was he just at Clemson? Okay, just
Clemson.
Okay, my bad.
So,
wrong South Carolina school.
Yeah, that's it.
No.
And he's 3-18 in his 2 years at South Florida. So BYU it is. Rice at USC, 34.5, 5 p.m. Pac-12 Network. 0 chance Lincoln Riley lets off the gas, right?
Oh no.
He will score 70 if he has to.
If he can. Yeah.
So I've got Trojans.
Yeah.
This is a game I'm really interested. I cannot believe that Kentucky is only a 20.5 point favorite against Miami of Ohio at 6 p.m. on ESPN Plus. I mean,
well, I think that's another game where Stoop scores as many as he can to just kind of reaffirm that Kentucky is a football school. So, I mean, I think Miami of Ohio can kind of blame John Calipari for this beat down. I think Kentucky covered.
I think Kentucky could double this. I mean, this could be 42-0.
That would be double.
I mean, seriously, I don't understand what does Vegas know that we don't?
Well, you know they know things.
And I mean, does this make sense? Does this line at all make sense to you? This is a top 25 team against a MAC school.
Mm-hmm.
I am very confused by this line. I mean, I'm taking Kentucky because I think it's going to be easily covered, but I'm just really confused right now. I mean, does Miami of Ohio have some sort of transfer quarterback that I'm unaware of?
I don't think it would matter.
I mean, Huck Martin, their head coach, and they've not. It's not like they won the MAC last year or anything. I guess I'm just really confused. That's all I can say. I'm just confused. So,
at any rate, we both got Kentucky cover in there.
Utah State at Alabama. Alabama 38.5 points.
Did you intend to skip someone?
No, did I?
Uh-huh. Oh. I'm looking at the run of show. You're looking at something else.
Oh, I did. I forgot to put that one in there.
Oh.
I did not intend to skip that one.
Okay.
So let's just do this one. Utah State at Alabama, 38.5 points.
6:30 on the SEC network. That Miami of Ohio Kentucky game is on at 6 on ESPN Plus, by the way. But yeah, Utah State at Alabama, tied a 38.5 point favorite. 6:30 on the SEC network for those who are into watching carnages, because I'm taking the Tide to cover.
Yeah, somebody has a couple of guys picked Utah State to win the national championship.
Well, if you can win a national championship and get obliterated by Alabama in the opener, then okay.
Well, this is the game that they're pointing to as to why they think Utah State can win the national championship.
What, they think Utah State's going to beat Alabama?
They think Utah State is going to beat Alabama.
Who are those two guys?
There is a story. Let me see. All right. So here's the story. Two random guys in New Jersey bet $2,000 on
what's in New Jersey. What do they know about college football?
Utah State to win the national championship.
Was this before or after they looked at Utah State's schedule?
After, because again, this is a Salt Lake Tribune article. Robert Duran, and who was a New Jersey restaurateur, was partying at a wedding on a Saturday in April with several former Michigan football players, some of whom had transferred to Utah State. As the night continued and alcohol flowed freely, the Wolverines turned Aggies. Insiders gave him the skinny. The Aggies surprised everyone last year with their 11-3 season and win in the LA Bowl. Xavier Williams had transferred from Alabama. The former Michigan players were hungry. Utah State has several returners on their roster. So he said, let's hammer it. Put a couple $1,000 bets with Caesar Sportsbook on the Aggies to win the national championship, because here's the thing. If somehow Utah State was to win this game and go undefeated, you can't leave them out of the playoff.
No.
I mean, obviously they're not going to win this game, but it's in a world that they did.
In a world that they did beat Alabama and run the table from there. Yeah.
You couldn't leave them out. So.
And at that point, they only got to win 2 ball games.
That's right. I mean, but anyway.
The point is moot.
Alabama rolls.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Louisiana Monroe at Texas. Texas 39.5 point favorites at home against the fighting Perry Bowdens. And listen, I'm here to tell you, La Monroe's covering this. Terry Bowden's not getting beat by Steve Sarkisian by 40 points. It's not happening.
I agree with you. I like Ulamo, as a friend of mine would say, to cover here.
Texas is going to win, but they ain't getting beat by 40.
Yeah, so I'd agree.
7 p.m. Longhorn Network. Check it out. Kent State at Washington. 21.5 here. 9:30 Saturday night, FS1. This is an interesting game, too.
I think this is a number that if Washington doesn't cover, I mean, Kent State it's another MAC team, not a great MAC team traditionally. And you're talking 3 touchdowns plus the hook. If Washington doesn't cover this, I don't think it's a good sign for them at all. But
Washington hasn't been great. Kent State won the MAC East last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Did not know that. Shows you how little attention I pay to the MAC.
Yeah.
I'm taking Washington.
They lost to Northern Illinois 41-23 in the championship game, but they lost to Wyoming in the Potato Bowl. So there's that. Yeah, I'm going to take Washington here because I feel like it's a must-win.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, last game of the week, Notre Dame at Ohio State. Ohio State.
When is that tomorrow or is that Monday?
It is tomorrow, I believe. That's a good question. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow.
It probably is.
It's going to be 6:30. Oh, yes, tomorrow. 6:30, ABC. Number 5, Fighting Irish. Number 2, Buckeyes. What do you got? In the horseshoe.
In the horseshoe. For this matchup, I think 14.5 is a lot. It's the new coach at Notre Dame is
Marcus Freeman?
Yes. Is he an Ohio State graduate, or is he's got some ties some kind of way, I think.
He is a Dayton, Ohio native and an Ohio State alum. Played wide receiver for them?
Not sure. I like Notre Dame to cover. Much of it. I don't care for either of these teams. First off, I think Notre Dame covers. Wouldn't surprise me if they some kind of way win it. Straight up.
That'd throw a wrench in some things. I think Notre Dame's perennially overrated.
There's that.
And despite what people might tell you, Barrett Sallee was like, I think they're underrated every year. They end up in the top 10 at the end of the year. I'm like, yeah, but all of their big time opponents haven't been very good for the last decade.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get boat raced by somebody in the playoffs. I'm going to take Notre Dame to cover. I think it's a 2-touchdown game. I think the hook is what gets you here.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got Notre Dame to cover.
Okay. So, all right. 6:30 kick on ABC tomorrow.
That's it. All right. And
should we run back through these real quick?
Yeah, go back through them one more time.
Okay. Let's see. Colorado State at Michigan. The Wolverines are a 27.5-point favorite, and we both took Michigan to cover that. Oregon versus Georgia at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. The defending national champions, a 17.5-point favorite. I've got Georgia. Chris has got Oregon. That's the only one that we differ on, actually. UTEP at Oklahoma. The Sooners, minus 32.5. We've both got UTEP to cover that. BYU at South Florida. The Bulls are a 12.5-point underdog at home. And we've got
too bad for them.
Yeah, we've both got BYU covering there. USC at home against Rice. The Trojans, 34.5-point favorites. And we've both got Lincoln Riley and crew there. Miami of Ohio at Kentucky. The Wildcats favored by 20.5. And they cover that and then some. Utah State at Alabama. The Tide, 38.5-point favorite. Oh, yeah. Easily. Louisiana Monroe is a 39.5-point underdog at Texas. We've got ULM covering there. Kent State at Washington. The Huskies are favored by 21.5. And we both got Washington covering at home. And Notre Dame at Ohio State. Again, that's a 6:30 kickoff tomorrow on ABC. The homestanding Buckeyes favored by 14.5. We both got Notre Dame covering.
That's it, though.
Okay.
That's going to do it for today's show. The week is over. High school football tonight. Catch coverage. MainStreetMurray.com, MainStreetPreps.com from across the mid-state. We've got Friday Night Live coming up at 6:30. You've got George Plaster at 4 o'clock. Plenty of coverage throughout the weekend. Tennessee Tech plays tonight
Against Kansas.
So if you're if you're not watching high school football, check out the Golden Eagles, I guess. So big weekend ahead. We'll be back next week after Labor Day on Reaction Tuesday with Top 5 Tuesday, and we'll figure that out.
Oh, goodness.
We got a lot to get to. So
Action-packed on Tuesday. We'll be rested up for it, though.
We'll be rested up, absolutely. This has been Main Street Sports Today, and I'm Chris Yao. No Patton.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend